Hi everyone, this is Asteria again, here with you to have host another ACD, but this time for chapter 10.04b. So this chapter was one of the sort of romance chapters that we haven't had one of those for a while. So this is the most recent as of this recording. Super excited, and I instantly leapt to host this as soon as I knew about it. So this is all about the romance between one of our favorite mages and one of our favorite guards. And we'll go ahead and start with general reactions. Would anyone like to share theirs as Wiggle shares it after Wiggle shares his?
Yeah. Why didn't you share yours first? Anyways, I'll just say this was an excellent chapter, 9 out of 10, solid 9 out of 10 for me. I just it was just awesome seeing Vale Teresa kind of go through her relationship struggles with Relk. We haven't had much of that in the past. I think the only other chapter that really comes to mind where people go through these kinds of relationship struggles is with Alir and Hexel back in Volume 7. And it was really well done here. I really appreciated it, and I love seeing Vale Teresa, kind of get through and kind of overcome it a bit. Also, I really loved seeing the Magic Island. It was awesome. It's just an awesome island. It does say a lot about Valmira, that is the island she made with the goddamn hug bears, cuddle bears, whatever they are. I think it was cuddle bears. And just reading all of her saved fan mail. Cuddle golems. That's it, Bartimaeus. Thank you. It says a lot. And we finally have some progress with the Magic Academy. She now has a source of funding. So, and she knows there's a group of mages nearby who are fully willing to do this magic with her. So yeah, it was just 9 out of 10 chapter. Really loved it.
Can you say what the huggy things were again?
Cuddle golems.
Golems?
Yeah, cuddle golems. Yeah.
Like from Lord of the Rings.
No, as in, as in, what a golem, like,
A golem?
golem, whatever. Listen,
All
I'm
right.
gonna look this up to see if I'm pronouncing it right. Okay.
And as for why I didn't go first, because I like to have the last word. So a couple other feedback or thoughts from others while Wiggles checks pronunciations. Dunkey 2012 says Vale is a great POV, and she keeps getting better. Bartimaeus says Jewish mythology with a grin. And Sarah Bear says the chapter was really cute and fun. They expected totally something else. They expected something more academic, more how magic works, focus, etc. They were pleasantly surprised that it was a more emotional chapter with a focus on backstories, characterization, and romance. 9 out of 10. Arca delenda est. Wiggles, did you figure out a pronunciation?
Okay, it's golem. Okay, whatever. Whatever.
People bash on me for my pronunciations.
Shut up, Asteria. Just move past it, okay? Shut up. Ugh.
Okay. So this will go on to live in infamy like pussies. Got it. Eduron, you're up.
My precious. Okay, get them. Okay, sorry. I really liked the chapter. 9 out of 10, exactly. It's the Vale Teresa and Relk. After now, Bethel is like public enemy number 1. She can go drown in a ditch. In my opinion. So the seat for the new best couple is obviously. I mean, we don't have that many couples in TWI, but Relic and Violet Teresa, it's just awesome seeing those two together, and it's to see the struggles to Pirate ask the questions that many of us have asked. I mean, Relk is obviously a nice guy, but what does goddamn Archmage see in him? But now, I mean, even they started sparring. Relk, I mean, we all knew that Relk is dangerous, but that an Archmage acknowledged him as a real threat, I think I underestimated Relk a little bit. Not anymore. And yeah, the island was awesome. The cuddle golems were awesome. Oh my god, when the net, my, I, it's weird that that was the moment that like stuck on me in the chapter, but the net in the discussion room having hugging her mother, and then the golems just rushing. I can imagine just an alarm going off in every golem on the island and just rushing in there to give her a hug, cause that was just yeah. But I really liked the chapter. More of those, please. And we have got some spicy questions that I also asked myself. That yeah, a level 30 plus warrior in the bedroom could be dangerous.
Okay, okay.
And no,
When
yeah,
we get to the
yeah.
questions, save it for
All
when we
right,
get to the questions.
later.
Denki 2012 has made the comment that it should have been Valley, not Vale. Listener's choice, I suppose. In terms of name pronunciations, Kinea says they were doubtful at the beginning if they wanted another Valestyria chapter. Considering the options, the beginning was a bit slow, but they ended up hooked and really enjoyed it. A lot of character development all around, and they were very happy with all the characters interacting. So, and just sort of echoing what Eduron said, that Nanette scene, oh man, tears, and just like, oh, like Kalanfor, oh my god, if you have not read the witches sort of arc recently, man, you need to like go back and read it, because that was powerful stuff. Lynette Melodies says they loved being in her POV, while a reader knowing some of the same struggles or some that Relk has gone through with friendliness or friendlessness and coworkers guards Embria making assumptions. Can't do magic, she hates walking and working out, and yet they work. Fully agree. The highlight of this chapter for me absolutely was the development of those two relationship. So I love a good romance chapter, and after like the nature bio chapter last chapter, a couple chapters ago, and then the romance chapter, I mean, there's only like one way I could be more over the moon, but this I'm like writing a wandering in chapter high right now, because like we've hit, two of my three favorite topics. Okay. Rhythm and Brews. Let's hear from you.
All right. So I wrote this chapter while it was being streamed. In fact, I did write that I thought that I predicted it would be the best chapter so far of Volume 10, even though it's short, but it's also the first chapter that I think deserves to take that crown, at least until something else comes. But I think it'll probably be a little bit. I like chapters where people talk to each other a lot, because that doesn't happen enough in fiction. There's too much that's based on people not talking to each other and getting cranky, and then secrets all spiraling, and that being the big driver of how everything goes wrong. And so I'm always kind of glad when people talk through things and work things out. So that was good. I've figured out that Valley is a character who gets more likable the more POVs she gets. She was really hard to like without having a POV chapter for her, just because she does so many kind of antisocial things that when you look at her through other people's eyes, she's often not very good. But if you can see what's actually going on in her head, then she gets a lot more relatable. And so I think that might be true for her more than other characters. A lot of other characters, you don't like them, and then you see their POV and you go, "Wow, they actually are kind of crap." And then, Feltry is the opposite problem. So I really liked it, and those are kind of the main things I thought about it. And I do like that they randomly dragged all these mages together and then on this trip and got cranky and then went, wait a minute, we have a group of mages here. None of us like all the existing mage groups. Can we do anything about this? Maybe. So that was where I am for it.
Oh, we definitely got Hogwarts vibes at the end of this, or like Magical Academy vibes. But putting a castle on a mountain and magic and learning and education and take my hand. I mean, yeah, like definitely getting those like chill Magical Academy vibes. Totally. This has been building for a bit. I mean, we've seen different mages kind of come together in groups and talk about how much they learn from each other and how cool it is to see different perspectives. But I think that finally all culminated this chapter, like you pointed out, Rhythm and Bruise. And it was just really exciting to see, so not only did we have the romance development, but we absolutely see Valley developing as a character. And you're totally right. Until we get a point of view chapter from her, it's really hard to kind of, I don't know, resonate with her character because she's so much in her head. And you really need to see it from her point of view to kind of get everything that's going on. So she's one of these great characters to do an occasional POV with when we get the chance. Alias says they just think it's adorable that she, being Valley, grew up in a Drake city, so she's attracted to drakes. They get tickled pink every time we, the readers, get reminded of it. Bartimaeus says the romance is so cute and it's good for both of them. Valley is coming out of her shell, interacting with people living in the world, while Ralph has someone that shares his passion for puzzles. And I think also grounds him, right? Like Lynette pointed out earlier, they just bounce off each other so well, and where one falters, the other comes through. And it's fantastic to see. Samu, let's hear from you.
Yeah, besides all the things that a lot of you already named, it was just a great chapter. But what I realized at the end, especially, when Welly talks about how she would like for Magical Academy were an archmage, and it doesn't. She implies that she would like to do that. Takes the kids by their hand and teaches them magic. That is like that. There's a certain similarity to Relk teaching the kids the spear, I think, and that even for she's conflicted about him teaching the kids so much and not having so much time for himself. She wants to do that too. She just doesn't have the space to do it yet. And I thought that there's a lot of nice perspectives to come in the future of how both of them help the new generation, I think.
I think it's also important to remember that Valley's main goal is still to discover, right, magic itself. And I think with this chapter, she absolutely enjoys teaching and she wants to provide that, right, as a possibility for others. But I think another realization that came from this chapter is that by interacting with others, she actually is reaching her goal faster, just those new perspectives. And so she can do both, right? And by opening this school and by this teaching, she will still continue progressing on her main goal. And it was kind of cool to see her kind of reach that realization as well this chapter. Really liked a lot of side characters coming back and getting some time to shine. The mages have the same struggle, or having the same struggle is a great future setup. Valley finding solace that everyone has the same struggle as her was heartwarming. The end with the Seith and the first purchase with the gold hats was great. Mr. Wiggle says, oh yeah, final thought. Beazle and Mons being a couple was hilarious, and many people agree. All right, so with that, general impressions is wrapped up. Let's get to our first discussion question. Mr. Wiggles, your choice.
Why you gotta... Okay. Let me look. I think this is a good one.
Your own question?
No. I can do mine. The inn is becoming more obvious with their use of the box. They leave hints of something happening everywhere. Lyon suddenly wants to buy 2 pieces of Seith. Who learns about the box first? What will be the consequences? think this is a good one. What do you think, Asteria? Since you made me pick the question, you get to
I think
answer
this is a
first.
good. Oh, do I think this is a good question?
No. What do you think? What
I mean,
do you?
oh, you mean to answer the question?
Yes, answer the question.
Okay. Have we seen Seith before? Did I just forget that we've seen this
Yeah,
before?
it's the magical. It's the super magical stuff that they found in the ruins of Albez and in that pot and cloth that.
Oh my god, that's finally coming back into play.
Yeah, that
Like
stuff.
that was from the Horns. That wasn't from somebody else discovering more in Albez when that group went back and was digging around with a map.
No, it was from the Volume 9
Oh,
Albez
okay. So it was
chapters.
from the
Yeah,
group digging around.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, man, that's a lot coming back into play quite late. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the inn can't keep a secret. We knew that as soon as Leonette made the silly decision to tell Nanette and Mishra the secret. But in terms of who learns about the box first, I don't. Mons probably, like, she's been the one snooping around, checking out for the secret. They have not been obvious about or not been great in hiding it. So I'm gonna guess Mons. I'm gonna guess the consequences are the city's probably gonna levy a pretty huge tax, or banks or something is gonna end up trying to get at a bunch of the gold. Bunch of thieves will probably pop up. But in terms of the consequences, my guess is they'll have to stop using the coin pretty soon and then turn to other items that are a bit easier to like trade rather than direct money with their whole money laundering goal. Any thoughts, Wiggles, before we give Edoron a go?
I still think money is the easiest thing to launder out of everything. But regardless of that, I really don't see the box becoming widespread known about. Like, Valley and Mons are definitely two of the people who are gonna like be lit in on the secret simply because there's no way Valley is gonna accept that the inn has hundreds of thousands of gold for her magic academy. You know,
I mean,
that's
I
just
think she will. Mons won't, but
well,
Valley doesn't ask questions about where
no.
things appear from.
Valley is someone who has spent a long time trying to make money. She knows that getting that kind of money that she would need is not something the inn would be
Yeah, but
capable of.
she's not going to question where it came from.
Uh, uh,
The only
uh,
reason she would question is if it's a magical thing, so she can
yeah,
replicate it. That's it.
yeah, but she has to wonder: is it magic? You know, that's all I mean.
I mean,
Anyways,
technically, Leonette could play it off as money from the Golden Kingdom. I mean, that would be the
yeah,
smart thing. If
yeah,
she got a cash infusion from her parents.
uh huh. It could be, yeah. But anyways, I don't see like big consequences happening soon for the box. I think that
You
at
don't
the
think
end
the
of
thieves are gonna like itch? The thieves all around the spies are like itching like crazy at the moment.
no, I don't. Um, not really.
There's a pile of gold in the basement.
Yeah, but it
There's,
just unless the thieves are there, like literally right outside, I don't think they're gonna sniff it out that fast.
you're telling me that there's not a skill where they can't
No,
detect like a million gold pieces suddenly appearing somewhere within like a 300-mile radius.
no, I don't think that's just a normal skill that any thief will have. I don't. Especially because it's just like it's so random a skill to have, like gold literally just appearing.
The detection of a high influx of cash, and Rickle's heading for the end too.
He might have a skill that can detect it. Yeah, he might, but he's also like level 40 plus, so it's like maybe there's high level thieves nearby, maybe, but I don't think so.
Right. Well, let's give some other people a chance because we got numerous pings after we started chatting. Edoron, what are your thoughts?
Um, First of all, I think there is a skill for, at least even for pickpockets. There is a skill that gives you targets when they have high value stuff in their pockets. And to who's the first one, we'll find out. I mean, it's the obvious guess is Vale Teresa and probably maybe some of the other mages when they're starting like actually looking into building the school. Grimalkin is always an observant guy. He could be one of the first. And consequences? I mean, Aaron is not there to defend the inn right now, but still, it's an inn that is yet it's now a high level how do you say it, a high level place. Nobody could easily like go in there and steal something. I mean, if you are not at least level 40, you're gonna get your ass kicked when you try to start shit with the Wandering Inn, even now. And so I think the consequences aren't gonna be that big for now.
Fair enough. I'm predicting doom and gloom, and you guys are like, volume 11 consequences. Meh. Fair enough.
Doom and gloom.
Yeah, you normally that's you, Edoran. We flipped this time around. All right. So where does that bring us to? I believe Scantor, you're up next.
All right.
Oh, there, Bear. I'm sorry I skipped you. We'll circle back to you in a second. But yeah, Rhythm and Bruce.
All right. So I think that it's really hard to predict when the like how the box works becomes known or what the consequences are. It could happen pretty much at any time because clues are there that the inn is doing something weird, and maybe they can hand wave it with someone else providing the money, like Leonette's parents or something, or maybe they can't. But it's definitely there if someone comes across it and looks. I think that the thing about Valley is that she might figure it out. The thing is, if she's getting money out of it, she won't care that too much. I think she might ask questions about where it came from, but if the answer is, I have a magic box that makes infinite gold, as long as she's getting some of it, she go, okay, yay, magic box, infinite gold, I have money, good, on to the next. So, but I think, yeah, I think of it more as a wider spread thing rather than it's going to attract thieves and whatnot, and that's going to be the consequences. I feel like if they happen, it's going to be more economic and more kind of golden triangle like of it's a problem because they're counterfeiting lots of money, not it's a problem because they have something valuable and now they have thieves and assassins and so on that are going to try to get it. So but it's really hard for me to tell whether that is going to come about in the next time we look in on this crew or in volume 11. It's kind of really random because Pirate leaves those kind of things open forever all the time. That this thing happens and then the shoe drops and then it takes 1.5 million words to fall or not. So I think that trying to logic that out is a little bit of a fool's game, but the seeds of a problem are certainly there. I also am really excited to see them move away from duplicating coin and duplicating something that's intrinsically useful. Because if they manage to duplicate Seith or Ira Gel, if someone can find a sample or something like that, then the box is creating value instead of just money, and that's a really important distinction when you have these kind of things happening. And so I'm kind of curious if they end up going that route. That's my thoughts on the box.
Those are definitely good points. I'm also curious to know if the box can leave the inn or if it's restricted, because if someone steals the box and off it goes. Ooh,
I bet I'm willing to bet it's not as easy as I steal the box and now I have Aaron's level 50 skill. That doesn't tend to be how skills work, but
Erin's broken all the rules so far. Wouldn't put it past her, but we'll see. All right, Sir Bear, you're up.
Here's the thing. I'm going to post 2 quotes right now that prove that skill exists that can spot the value of something. Two blood feast raider had a skill that knew Ryoka had something valuable on her. Alcaz had a skill that was a certain value that was like testing is worth that much gold, etc., etc. And the other thing, the inn doesn't have any real good security right now. Before they had Alcaz and Norman helping with the security. They had 4 Thornbearer with bodyguard skill. But right now the inn got 2 Thornbearer, one who is always with Lyon, the other always with the kid. Tonight are probably busy with the necromancer and doing other stuff, so they can't really bodyguard. So this guy is pretty much the only security out there. And I doubt she got good skill to stop thief, especially since she controls only 1 entry and not 2. She only controls the door, not the real entrance. So either thief will come up but the inn is then extremely valuable. Either I think Palace of Magnola will learn about the box first. Palace because they are pretty much always there, especially since Sheldon is a regular guest right now. Magnolia probably got spy in the end and probably will try to hire people there to put some people in the staff to learn stuff. Vale could lick the thing by accident. Salis, if you learn about it, could also decide to leak the thing because it's too dangerous. And the second chapter, then one was like, Magnola will kill Aaron for owning this kill. So we can assume even Salis would be mad about it.
Salis is actually a good point. If Salis is ever able to kind of refine that potion that allows them to kind of take on their, like the form they kind of consider, become Anivia, I think was the term, or to like take on the physical form of Anivia permanently. I mean, that's a potion that they could clone in the box and distribute to anyone in that community that wants it.
Yeah, but
So,
right now the box is let's say vomiting gold. So
yes.
and the basement is apparently full of gold. So we can and at some point someone will ask the question, why is the basement is full of gold? You can say, oh, it come from a garden. The question then becomes, why did you let the gold be still in the garden instead of transferring it into basement? So people are going to ask question, and it's going to
Yeah.
leak. And
And the
an
question is
important
who's going to shut it down?
and
Absolutely.
an important point for Salis. I don't remember if it was alchemy related or Tyriarch said something like that, but transmutation to gold is illegal. So Salis probably got an interest in that thing to not have gold flood the market then.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but those are some great points. All right, so we'll wrap up this question with a couple of written responses. Bartimaeus says that the goblin chef chucked the box out of the inn and it returned back inside, so stealing it might be difficult. Okay, good point. I had forgotten that. So maybe it's restricted to the inn. Mick says the worst option is that Relk is compelled to enforce the law after finding out. That's true. Relk is a trusted guardsman now, so as soon as he finds out about it, he'll probably shut it down. And then Donkey 2012 says maybe one of them will be able to stop Lyon from flooding the local economy with way too much gold in response to Donkey 2012. Who had, well, Donkey 2012 responding to one of their earlier comments. Okay, so Wiggles, why don't you go ahead and pick the next question again while Samu finishes writing up their response. Samu, you can go ahead and finish writing and you'll be the last to comment. Wiggles, do you have one picked out? I think Wiggles is actually left, so I'll pick out a question.
Take Mr. Wiggles' question.
Which question?
His question was number 5.
All right. You guys are so eager. Let's go ahead and do this question. So Samu said they just wanted to say that the door of the money can go to multiple economic hubs without flooding Lesor. That's a good point. If they're smart about it, they'll transport the money across a multiple of economies and not just flood the local city, to be a little bit more wise with it. All right. So the question that Eduron and you guys were getting over, let's keep it PG, guys. So, don't get explicit, but you can speculate. What is the best skill or spell for physical relations? We had Valley contemplating this, actually, and asking multiple questions while the two parties were discussing this. The guys around the fire and everybody else inside. And there were some notes being taken and some collective cleaning up of phrasing once children and our favorite enchanter showed back up. But Aliaston with the first comment, triple thrust with a laugh. Donkey 2012, immunity crossbow bolts. Alias again with reloading skills. Samu was find weakness. Donkey 2012 in with really loud voice. I should ask you to explain some of these you guys, but I kind of also I'm just gonna leave it open to listener speculation. Eduron says the cloning skill, and Alias agrees, and then Bartimaeus says haste. Huh. I would think that would be the opposite of, but anyway. Mick says blindness. I will say that I think no matter, well, maybe not no matter, but you can probably get pretty creative with spells and skills. And I know that our resident writing community has gotten quite creative with some of these. Yes. Alias clarifies reloading skills means no refractory period. Fair enough. Gotcha. So it I know mating rituals 1 and 2 have very love or hate reputations, but it is kind of fun to see some of the creative ways that skills and spells have been used, depending on what theme chapter we're reading. And it's interesting to see people come at it from different points of view. And in this case, an academic one. Donkey 2012, Path to Victory. I don't think that will be used anytime soon, but that would have been a cool one if Chaldean was still, up in vigor. I will say that this conversation leading to a clarification of Hadalt's sexuality was, I think, really interesting. There had been a lot of reader speculation of late about kind of how he felt about relationships. And to kind of have it come out as, this sort of label of being ace was actually, I think, pretty cool to see, right? We're getting quite the diversity of characters and kind of their passions, their interests, their love lives. And, it's just adding a little bit more diversity to the Wandering Inn world. So I kind of like how a conversation about how to use skills and spells in bed led to this kind of discussion about, how people feel about love and their passions and how they spend their time with their partners or they don't. if they don't have one. Alias says they appreciated the chapter for saying that using skills in bed doesn't usually work out as well as you'd hope, to be honest. Donkey 2012 is adding in another thought of aura of protection. Alias says they're sure some skills have applications in bed, but they appreciate the official lore being most are a bad idea. I'm sure there are specialized skills, probably between lovers or, married sweethearts that have that use. And probably courtesans as well. But in fact, our courtesan chapter actually revealed a number of these skills. So that's something to keep in mind, where we have seen kind of this aspect come up before. But it's kind of cute to see, right, Valley and Relk kind of finding their way to the point where they set a schedule for their love life. That was an interesting detail, and trying to be respectful of each other. I thought that was really cute. Nobody brought that up when we were talking about the romance earlier, but I thought that was a fun little detail. All right, Rhythm and Brews, you'll close this out on this discussion question, and then we'll move on to another one. So go ahead and finish typing, or if you want to speak out loud, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you're going to use a Chaldean skill, go all the way and use his allied city bombardment.
Whoop! I think you cut out, Scantor.
I had just said if you were going to use a Chaldean spell, you go all the way and use allied city bombardment. Whatever that thing was, he did.
That was it. Okay, got it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So, next question. Let's jump to Nanette, because she was kind of a secondary, smaller plot line in this chapter. And we've been seeing more of her, and I'm interested to see, compared to some of the other child characters that we have, which there are very strong opinions about, how are people feeling about her? So, Nanette is a menace. At first, she had a showdown with Kolfa. Now she's blackmailing Lyon by threatening to reveal the box. Leader, she straight up offered to build a magic school without discussing it with the others. Is she out of control? Who will discipline her if that is the case? Or maybe just in general, she gets up into other hijinks. And you can't forget, she was also the one that was kind of encouraging Tyrion's son to go after the wand, to have his own adventure, and then she's going to go right along with him. So, Edoron, thoughts?
I think calling her a menace is a bit harsh. She is, I like that she came out of her shell. I mean, like, a lot. First of all, I really got the impression that she is just that adult in a kid's body, somebody who had to grow up way too fast. Because obviously, I think witch children are growing up a bit faster than normal children, and with everything she had to go through. But seeing her behave like this is it's just perfect for the inn. She's just the perfect little. She and Mirsha together, they're just the perfect little mischief duo. And seeing Nanette behave like this, it's just when I see that behavior on Mersha, I think she's just a brat. But when it's about Nanette, I don't know, it's just I just like her. She's just a sweet thing, and just protect that smile all the way. And again, I don't think it's out of control that she is, and she is quite reasonable in her own for her age, I would say. Yeah. So, and it is a good idea. Lynette instantly jumped on that idea, to be honest, for funding the school. And yeah, I think menace is not the right word to use for her.
Okay, so fair. Samu, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think in some of the earlier chapters of the volume, there was something about Nanette thinking that she's the only witch in the inn now, and she has to do the witchy things, if I'm not mistaken. And I think we've seen a lot in this chapter that she's trying to fill that witch spot, like meddling in relationships and asking about how people are doing, and doing wanting to give gold to someone to fund something amazing. And I think she's doing really good in like replacing Erin in a little bit there, or in a similar way, or in the witchy way, I think. But at some point, she's gonna make a mistake, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see, because I expect, or I hope, that the adults around, or even the witches, I would love to see more of the river farm witches as well, especially interacting with Nanette, that they will come through then and help her as well, that she's just not a grown witch yet. But I mean, I think she's doing great so far, and it's all very, very cool.
All right, so we're liking Nanette so far. Donkey 2012 says the stuff with Kolfa and the blackmailing was normal kid misbehavior with the other children. The offer to Valley in this latest chapter was not a bad thing. She didn't reveal the box or the infinite gold, just hinted that the inn could help. And offering the inn's help isn't bad. It's just what the inn does. Seer Bear says you've got a quote. Seer Bear, did you want to talk?
Yeah, what I wanted to talk to.
Okay, go for it.
The thing is, at that point, don't forget that Grimalkin in the agent of Palace, so Nanette threatening to reveal the secret and putting everyone in danger, because I repeat, Yellowan thought Mayona would kill Erin for that skill, is pretty dangerous, because she's doing stuff without authorization, without control, without someone to really stop her. And as a bit mentioned in the first volume, first chapter on volume 10, Nanette doesn't really have a mother right now. Doesn't have an authority figure to educate her, to tell her to stop, and all of that. At first, she has Califor, who died, obviously, and then she was depressed for so long that she was not causing problem, and if Wiskaya was taking care of her in some way. And then she went to the inn, and Erin act as a stop measure for most of the thing around the inn. Didn't want to make Erin angry. She when the stupid war with Marsha got out of control, Erin put a stop to it. Erin was there somewhat to make Nanette busy with witch stuff, by making her help Calicent, all that stuff. Nanette was busy and doing something else, not causing trouble, being a brat in some way, in blackmailing people and putting people in danger. I think she really need a mom, one authority figure right now. But the question is who?
That's true. And Leonette was kind of looking to fill that role, and Annette knows she's
Yeah.
looking to fill that role, but
Leonette doesn't work for one big art of Leonette is she doesn't have control in some way. Marsha take more from Erin than from her. Leon can't stop Numb Tongue. She can't stop Burn. She
finding her feet, and she's got traction with all of those characters in some way. But Aaron is kind of the de facto side settler, I suppose, when it comes down to it.
Colfa is probably the best candidate with how she took care of Nanette in the second chapter by throwing her out the window.
Yeah. And
The throne bearer are not good candidate because they either don't want the job or they suck at that.
well, maybe Nanette doesn't need a mother figure so much as she just needs
An
sort
authority.
of someone who, yeah, and that could be the golden guard, right? I forget her name, but she's kind of stepping up as someone that the kids can go to and also kind of guide them away from true danger.
Nanette keep fighting with Ushar most of the time, and they keep ignoring Ushar.
They
So
seem to be striking a balance, and it takes time to build trust.
yeah,
And yeah, that will wrap up our discussion of chapter 10.04V. And yeah, have a good evening, guys.